Coming to the thing, I'll be just actually giving a overview of the present motorization and vehicle growth at our global level, and just I will try to actually compare it with our Indian perspective in terms of the how the things are actually shaping up, like in our Indian context, like that. You can see like our most of these our countries from the Asian part of the world, and if you try to compare it with the other sort of what to say, the countries coming under the European continent, as well as the countries coming under the what to say, North American continent. From that, if you see our Asian countries like be it China, be it India, you can see that vehicles per million population, we had it something around now it is in the range of very less, around 27 vehicles per 100,000 population we have it. So which is actually very less, but in spite of that, we are facing all these problems of this urban mobility is becoming a big issue, and we are seeing the present situation in the country where we are seeing all this increased people going in for vehicle ownership to the level of that is going to be this present economic growth we are seeing. It's going to sustain for the next 2 to 3 decades to come. So that cannot be actually taken care of like what is taken care of in a country like Singapore. They try to have area licensing and all that cannot come in our Indian setup because it's a democratic setup. So you cannot have, even in a country like China, they don't have control over the vehicular population. What we are seeing in 2005, they are expected it will be actually rising up to in 2050 like that. So we are the same situation is going to continue in our thing. For example, the city like Delhi, just I would like to illustrate with in 2 minutes, and then I will just see the tell about the Indian perspective of different metropolitan cities. As we know, actually Delhi is the second wealthiest city in terms of the per capita income, and also it's having about 1,500 square kilometers with arguably the best road space in the comparable with the developed world situation in terms of the road space available. About 21% road space is available, which is probably comparable with the city like Tokyo, where you have a good public transport system. So, along with the, but we don't have that kind of a good efficient public transport system. In spite of that fact, that number of motor vehicles in the city of Delhi, if you see, it is as you must be knowing from the various newspaper reports, the total number of vehicles is the summation of Mumbai, Chennai and Calcutta. To that level, we are seeing that kind of vehicular explosion here. So the 21% road space is not able to cater to the traffic which is plying on the, because we see from in a city like Delhi, right now itself 1 million vehicles are entering into the city of Delhi from the adjoining states. In addition to the about out of the 6.7 million vehicles available registered in the city of Delhi, we are seeing at least about 65% of these are operation, and coupled with that the vehicles entering from the adjoining state. So that really counts it for such a vehicular explosion which we are seeing, and people trying to utilize their cars in spite of the fact that there is a good gradual improvement in the public transport is happening in the form of metro. We are about 165 kilometers of metro is available. But as you see, the city is predominantly road based. About 1,284 kilometers of road is we are utilizing it, and the road length also, if you try to see it, it has gone up by about 18% in the last say 2 decades. At the same time, the vehicular population increase as about 218%. So that really constitutes, really illustrates how much is the problem is all about in a city like Delhi. So this kind of situation we have it in actually most of our cities also. And if you see the pointers to the traffic scenario in major Indian cities, we normally try to go by the what sort of the speed is available on the network. You can see the red ones are the one which are coming, the speeds are becoming so low, like Bangalore is one of the garden city we call it, but during the peak hours the speed deterioration is really much worse. Sometimes it becomes, that's what some of the recent study which was done by one organization shows. Delhi also is not anything lesser as compared to the other type of cities. So you can see the main major cities like Chennai, Delhi and other Mumbai are also almost at the par level compared to the other worse cities like Ahmedabad, Bangalore and Pune and all. So if you don't take care of these kind of cities during the peak hours traffic, which is seen in second order metropolitan cities and the emerging cities lower to that level, it's going to reach the same kind of situation as we are probably noticing in a city like Bangalore. And similarly, the average trip length, so here, because of the geographical configuration of a city really goes about in dictating what is going to be the average trip length. Because a city like Mumbai, you can expect, you can see about 11.5 kilometers the average trip length, because it's predominantly a group of 7 islands which has been combined together to get it from actually what to say, MCGM, they call it as Mumbai, Greater Mumbai Municipal Corporation of Delhi, or like that. So if you see the other cities also, we are now seeing, in spite of the fact that its average trip length is less, in some other cities like Bangalore, we saw their average trip speed is, journey speed is quite less. So that really shows how much is the problem is all about like that. And we are basically predominantly public transport, intermediate public transport is the order of the day in most of our things in major metropolitan cities. But if you come to the other second order cities, like there the intermediate public transport like the autos and the Vikram type of vehicles play a very huge role, because we try to have the point-to-point services, which becomes a very critical role it plays. So these aspects we have to really address it, like these IPT probably has to be promoted in a more emphatic manner in these kind of cities to make those cities sustainable, because we can't expect the public transport to be viable in these kind of cities in the, because of the city space and other aspects taking into that account. And if you see the issues of safety and noise and congestion, that really is a big issue. Like you can see in a city like Delhi during the peak hours in any commercial area, we can just see it's literally a bumper to bumper with the less than a meter of space we have to get the vehicles parked, be it a two-wheeler one or the cars. And you can see in a city like Mumbai, Delhi-Gurgaon Expressway, just I would like to illustrate here, we try to simulate these conditions using the, what to say, this software developed elsewhere. From that, if you try to do it on 8-lane divider carriageway, we are literally seeing for the it's a 8-lane divider carriageway having 4 lanes, but on one direction itself, people virtually make from 4 lanes to 8 lane. So to that level, the traffic gets actually this thing, and you can see here the maximum traffic which it can accommodate is something in the order of 12,000 vehicles per hour. But we are seeing to the extent of literally during this particular time, it has gone up to almost 16,800 vehicles per hour. So this clearly shows how much is peak hour traffic conditions. We try to make ourselves accommodative in nature, trying to squeeze in each and every inch of the space available on the network, and we try to go for utilizing the things as per without having any this thing. So this kind of traffic which is plying on the network obviously contributes for huge pollution which is actually occurring. So you can see out of the what to say, Asian countries, India is now dominating, and it is going to become one of the major polluters probably in the years to come, the next when 2025 and more than 2035 and all. It is going along with China, it's going to become the major parameter. In fact, there's a small this thing. India is the one which is in the center. Somehow it's not clearly visible. I can see here clearly. This the blue one. This one is the Indian thing. You can Indian worm. You can see how much is going to be because of this kind of stop and go conditions. What we are having. This is a source from the ADB study, which is recently completed in 2008, shows this kind of things based on the traffic which is plying on different our things. So finally, I would like to just put it up for points of discussion for the what is house to debate. So vehicle emission control and standards and inspection and maintenance, we just give least priority, because we did a small study in 2002 auto fuel policy, which actually formed for the 2000 up to 2010 we had that Bharat stage vehicles when have to come in force and things like that, we had it. But after that, there is no such any measures have been taken up. In that one itself, inspection maintenance has been specifically emphasized in the 2002 study. We should make it mandatory that, as somebody was pointing out, the private vehicles also, we should be in a position to make them accountable for them for this going in for taking what is a maintenance certificate as being done by a commercial vehicle. We don't have any sort of things. So inspection maintenance has been given totally free hand, and cleaner fuel which we are exploiting by as is being done elsewhere, we should really try to take a leaf out of it. And coming to the land use planning issue, that has also not been addressed in a very proper way. We just, as some of our speakers are telling about the way we are trying to go about in allowing this kind of explosion of the land space available without having proper planning. That is a big issue, and we are killing about 125,000 innocent souls every year in our on our Indian roads. So that has to be really addressed by trying to make the roads more safer for the people to ply, and also public transport planning and travel demand management has to be addressed, coupled with the environment and people friendly infrastructure development and the noise management. If we are able to control all these things, obviously this noise management and the roadside air quality will really improve. And in a nutshell, I would like to tell that concept of environmental sustainability shall be centered on the transportation system and activity that meets the social, economic and environmental objectives. It's not the vehicles, people are the one which has to be moved, not the vehicle. Vehicle centric way of planning, if we try to do it. Even suppose Dinesh was telling for a case like Mumbai, about 5% people use the only the this thing what is a private vehicles in a city like Mumbai. Similar is the case in most of the cities we have it. So we should be thinking about moving the people rather than trying to provide more and more road space for the vehicles to go about it. Thank you.